Welcome to Write Your Narrative, your weekly go-to street art podcast.
There's just so much culture and life in South Florida.
Art helped me find myself.
I can sit here and complain that Miami doesn't have any of these things, or I can find a way to do it.
This is what I'm supposed to be doing.
We have changed the conversation.
You're in the right place.
All right, so hi everyone and welcome to the podcast. We are today in Wynwood and we are at the Win 317 studio, like I like to call it.
Hell yeah.
And my guest today is Miss Freaky. Freaky, welcome to the podcast.
Hi, thank you for having me.
So how you doing?
Good, blessed, and highly favored.
All right, awesome. So we met a little over 10 years ago. Yes, when I first started Talking of the World magazine.
Yes.
We were doing your little thing in Wynwood. That was for Wynwood Live Festival, something like this, by the boombox over there.
Was that the one where I painted with the Vel? That was like a battle?
It could have been, yes. No, that was a while ago. But then you've done a lot in a little over 10 years.
Yes.
So when did you actually started into the graffiti art scene here in Wynwood, Miami?
So I started when my son was born, so 2011. And I really pushed in 2015 was when I started kind of like coming out. And I think that's when I met two artists that came out here. And yeah, they put me on. And at that time, you know, I paint with long ass nails.
Yes.
So they saw
still have those long ass nails.
I will always have these long ass nails, man. But they saw me and I was like, yo, you know, let me try that. And they told me, well, it's either the can or your nails. And I just ripped the nail right off. I just it the fuck off. Like no hesitation. I was like, let's go in the can. And they were cringing. They were like, what the fuck are you doing? I was like, let's go. And then, yeah, ever since, it was one Basel. They were here. And after they left, I went to 004, picked up 6 cans. What's up, E? And then I just went painting by myself. And then because I didn't want to catch beef with nobody, I started painting the floors. And that's where I started kind of like practicing. And everybody's like, oh, that's crazy because, you know, it's harder on the floor. You're just wasting paint. I'm like, yeah, but you ain't going to fight with me right now, you know? So, and that's it.
All right. So you really haven't stopped since then. You go day after day doing some art and not just on spray paint, but you use a lot of digital art.
Digital, I paint
something you
canvases, you know, whatever, everything, anything, but traditional and digital. I started digitally recently too because I had to push out to keep my brand going. And
yes. And talking about a brand, so this is something that you've created, the Freaky Kiss design, that little famous star.
Yes.
So what was the idea of what was the first spark for that from that star?
So I've been doing art for a really long time. And I knew from when I was like 7 years old that I was going to be like world known.
All right.
Yeah.
World known.
That's
famous.
Super famous. And we're getting there. Fucking slow, but we're getting there. You know, but
one star at a time.
One star at a
That's
fucking
it.
time.
You want to aim for the star.
Exactly. So I started doing a skull character first.
Okay.
And I was doing vendor fairs before I really came out fully as Freaky. I was doing vendor fairs and I was doing the skull character and I was doing just random art, just everything and anything. And I remember one of the ladies came up to me, some mom-looking lady, and she's like, oh, I can't grab any of your art. And I'm like, fuck? And she's like, yeah, because it represents death and I can't have any of that in my house. I'm fucking Mexican. Like, skulls day in and out. Like, that doesn't mean anything. It's life and death.
It doesn't.
It's, you know. But she was so adamant of not touching my art and that it was so bad. And I was like, okay. And then the same show, a gallery owner came up to me. He's like, oh, you'll never have anything in a gallery. And I was like, oh, wow, let's just go for like, keep them coming, you know, let's just go. That's it. So I was like, all right. So with the ignorance in mind that I went home with, you know, I was like, okay, well, if she's out there, chances are there's millions of other people that feel just like her.
Correct, yes.
And that's going to hinder me because that's not what I want to do. I don't want to be hindered. I want to be, you know, like I said, I have a goal. And I started figuring out, well, what do I have? What can I do? What can I change? And then I looked at my desk and I have a cookie cutter in the shape of a star.
Oh,
And I was like, here we go. Like, and in anime, I love anime. And then, I was doing stars already, like anime stars. But then when I saw a cookie cutter, I said, okay, I can do this over and over and over and over again because I have this mold, and then I can just change it up. And that's what I started doing. And then ever since, that's when the star, like really, really started taking form.
That freaky kiss star. So how many characters have you actually created with the shape of a star? Hundreds? Thousands?
Probably thousands at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about like 2011 to now.
Yeah, till now, yes. But with every season, of course, you can always throw a Santa Claus hat, or right now you're working on a Halloween stuff, so you can always put a little Halloween face into the star, or when it's summertime here in Florida, which is year-round.
Exactly. No, but that's why, so of all of them, there's one that's always stuck with me, and I called it Shades. And Shades is the one with the sunglasses. And then I kind of evolved Shades, and then he has like, Javi kind of like spawned off, because there's one with like red glasses. But then I'm like, no, let's come back to Shades. And then that's the one now that's like with the
blue ones.
Yeah, the blue retro. With the palm trees and,
Yeah, well, that's something you mentioned, the palm trees and the stars. So it could be actually like a sea star. It doesn't have to be. So this is really Florida.
Yes.
And you have that beautiful, usually yellow background in your painting, in your art, in your stuff. So you are Miami. You're representing Miami 100%.
Yeah. I mean, I also grew up in the Caribbean, so it's like...
Okay. Well, Miami, Caribbean, yes.
Yeah.
We're just like...
Yeah.
Half an hour away from it.
Yeah.
Not even an hour.
Exactly. I grew up in Cozumel, so it's like right there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Are you actually born and raised in Miami, or you are...
No, I was born in Miami.
Miami.
But I was raised in and out of Miami. So I've lived in Cozumel for a really long time. I lived there until I was 13. I lived in California for 2-3 years. I was in Orlando until I was like 18. Then I moved down to, Miami with my grandmother again. And then I moved into Broward with the worst mistake of my life. And then, fast forward to 6 years ago that I was like, you know what, that's it. I'm out.
That's it.
I'm done.
No, Miami girl. And that's it. I'm going to be ripping Miami 100%.
Yes.
Non-stop. But then whenever you travel, because you just came back from New York, you said?
Yes, I did.
So you also bring that little Miami star to New York?
I bring the Miami heat wherever I go, especially when it's fucking cold everywhere I go. It's like, damn, man. It was nice. It started off cold and it got nice, and then it's just like, I'm dying over here.
Yeah?
Yeah, so I got to take the Miami heat, the colors, the vibrancy, everything, because everything else is always so dark or so,
True.
Fake, and let's bring those bright colors. Yellow, cyan, the magenta, the lilac, everything.
Well, everything that represents Miami. And usually that's kind of strange, but a lot of artists say, okay, they are more successful outside of Miami. If they're from Miami, they tend to be more successful going to New York, LA, Chicago, Atlanta, whatever they go to.
I live by that. I live by you are never a prophet in your own land.
Yeah.
So I've actually New York has treated me very, very, very,
very, very well.
I have so much love in New York from everybody up there. You know what I mean? And going to Bed-Stuy now and seeing Miki and Frankie and painting with Bots, seeing Rez, Rizza, like everybody is just, they see you, it's like, oh my God. So I've been actually going up to New York for like 8 years.
Okay.
I would stay there a week on and off, come back down.
Yeah, on and off, yes, of course.
And then try not to stay too long in the cold. The last time I went, it was 40 degrees and I froze. I froze my insides. My friend was trying to like warm me up and she's like, Freaky, what the fuck did you do?
Well, also one thing that cannot keep you away too long is you have kids, so they're pretty young, so you cannot be away from your children too long.
Exactly. No, and then they'll bring them with me. My last the wall that I'm painting.
Yes.
Yeah. No, all of them. Let's go.
All of them.
Yeah. Let's go. Put them to work, man. The wall that I'm painting with Mars in Alapata, I have my two oldest ones.
Oh, in Alapata here, when you're local here, yes.
Yeah. No, but even if I take them up. If we go out Puerto Rico too, we went to Puerto Rico and I had them with me. Like, come on, you help me hold this, bring me that, spray here, fill this, take a picture, put them to work.
Why not?
because I'm Mexican. We start them young.
We start him young.
The little one's already taking cans from me,
That's it. Yeah. Do they start actually practicing at home? Do they do any
Yes.
kind of a drawing, something?
Yes.
So you push them into this.
I push them into being
pushing,
creative.
yes.
I
Yeah.
just tell them that they don't have to be anything.
Of course.
Their dad's like, right now, Javi's like, oh, I got a Mets one. The last one's going to be a Mets player. I was like, he could be whatever he wants. As long as they're successful and making money, I don't care. They can be con men, they could be hitmen, they could be, politicians, lawyers, doctors, whatever.
Yeah.
As long as they do good and they do it great and they take care of themselves and they don't do too much harm, I hope,
Exactly. Well, if you're hitman, you may end up in the front cover of the Sun Sentinel.
Or you're so good that nobody knows. You know what I'm saying? And then that's it. I'm taking care of blood money. I'm good. As long as I get paid, I'm traveling, I'm painting. Yeah, leave me alone.
What goes around comes around. You gotta watch your back, but you're always free to say it.
Yeah, the message
always
is
free
be
to
good
say
at what you're doing and do it. If you're gonna do it right.
Do it right.
Man, get the fuck out of the way.
Okay. Well, I don't get caught.
That too. Don't get caught.
Don't get caught.
Exactly.
That's a little piece of advice. Yes, I
Yes.
guess that's the father in me that's like, okay, do it. Don't get caught.
Exactly. No, I think we all live by that right now.
Well, yeah.
Whatever we're gonna do, just don't get caught.
Well, yeah, especially living in this graffiti world and being a female graffiti, right? You're not so much
I'm not a writer or so much.
Did
No.
some graffiti. We talked about it earlier, but
Yes.
this is behind you.
Yeah, no, I'm not a writer because I am not a fan of typography.
Okay.
I don't
All right.
I don't move letters. I see everybody around me grabbing the letters and they mold them and they move them and they flow them and everybody's told me, let's do this, do that. And I've tried. I mean, Mars can vouch for me trying, and a lot of people see me. I've painted at Meeting of Styles. I did letters there.
Yeah.
I've tried to show people like, look, I'll do letters, but I don't particularly want to do letters. I want to do my character because it's easier. It's in and out. It's much faster. Let's go. And it's more what I want to do, which is my brand.
Well, the characters are a huge part of the graffiti scene. I mean, you have the letters, of course, but then you have all these characters that started back in the late 70s, 80s. So definitely the character is something very present in the street art scene. And then you can actually include your characters with the letters and everything. So you can easily work with someone and do a great collaboration.
Yes.
Great collaboration. So right now you are, because we also have Mars in the studio.
Yeah.
She'll be on the next podcast. She'll be definitely on the podcast. We have to talk about graffiti and Fred trend. That's what I want to hear with you. So we'll get to that in the next podcast. So talking about Mars, you actually working on some collaboration right now?
I've known Mars since 2014, 15.
All right.
And so, yeah, we go back. But we're painting a lot together right now. There's a lot of projects that I really just enjoy painting with her. And she teaches me a lot. So like I said, the letters, I watch her and, I get an idea of how to move. But yeah, we're painting
she
a lot
gets up.
together. Oh, yeah.
She gets up. Don't roll your eyes. I'm not going to edit that.
No, that's my sister right there.
Yes. Good. Yes. So being a female artist in this men's world.
Man.
Oh, yeah.
See? Oh, man.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
How much harder do you have to work? How much harder do you have to do stuff to prove yourself? Is that something you kind of battle sometimes? I'm sure.
Yes, a lot.
I'm sure.
A lot. I mean, I don't want to keep proving anything to anybody, really. I just want to do it's me for me, and I want to share my light with people. But yes, it is a lot of men guarding a lot of gates.
Yeah.
And so, if they don't like you or you don't play nice, then
they ask you to play nice.
Oh, come on now. We're not going there. But I think everybody would be too naive to think that there's not a moment in time where, there's not any kind of insinuation or any kind of anything with women out there. If you don't play nice, then you're labeled as everything else underneath the sun. So
Okay. All right. What about the hashtag Me Too?
oh no, I don't know about that.
We don't want to.
I just know don't like look, I do what I gotta do, and I treat everybody with respect, and I treat everybody with how I want to be treated. And the moment that things change is the moment that I just cut you out. That's it. I don't gotta deal with it.
Yeah.
And if you want to deal with it, then that's on you.
Yeah.
But other than that, but it is really hard.
It is hard.
Yes.
It is hard. So
Yeah.
it is hard getting some work done. It is hard getting up on the walls, doing your own thing. It's
more
hard in general.
challenging. Yeah, it's more challenging. And it doesn't even have to be men in the scene. It's just men in general. The one Alpada that we've done, that's the biggest example of that. We're at that wall and it's constantly being catcalled, or I've had men come up to me saying they're going to punch me. So I'm like, all right, that's it. Yeah. So, and it happens like you're out and about in the middle of the night painting somewhere, and you're just an easier target they think that.
They think that. Well, they are messing with the wrong girl.
I would sure hope that they don't think to do it to me too much. Like I said, I've had my share, but it thankfully never escalated any more than it needed to. So,
well, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
So, something we mention quite often every year, that's why we tell the listeners that since we are in Miami, we are just a month and a half away from Art Basel, the Miami Art Week, which is the craziest week of the year. I mean, even the 2 weeks prior to that are usually when everybody gets up, picks up the walls, fight for the walls, fight for the little special wall that it's disappearing.
That part.
Every day.
That's the sad part, man.
That's the sad part, yes. It's, God knows where we are going with in Wynwood, but anyway, it is what it is. There's some probably for almost everybody.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, it's just like I said, there's certain things that happen, and if you're around the right people, then you can get up.
Yeah.
If not, then like every shit show that happens every Basel, everybody just takes what they can.
It does. Yes. It's almost like a free-for-all or something.
Yes.
I mention that so often. So for the people to understand, it's not so much a free-for-all, but it's, you got to show some muscles.
Yes. But even then, I don't think, like last year, it was kind of like, it was different. It wasn't the same. And the year before that, you know how many cops now also are like on bikes?
Yeah.
So I remember we were painting that wall with Few and Far, and I'm at the edge. I'm on 5th, like close to the light. And that's where nobody's really treading over there. And you see like 50 cops rolling on bikes. And I'm just like, hey, watch out,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a tough time for the graffiti writers, for the graffiti people.
Yes.
And there's less and less walls like
But it's getting harder just because of the amount of cops that are now being put in because of how much they've gentrified the neighborhood. Because before, like we can go back 2017, 16, it wasn't like that. The cops were just walking around. 2nd Ave was shut down, maybe even 5th gets shut down. But now, like when you see 50 cops rolling on bicycles to really keep an eye on the properties, I think that definitely changes the field for everybody.
All right, so it's time to move on. It's time to,
Yeah.
So, well, that's a good thing somehow that you're doing so much of the digital work with your branding, what we talked earlier. You put some clothes on, you do some T-shirts, a release, you do all kinds of different things.
I do toy customizations. I do canvases at home. What aren't I doing? I'm trying to do everything. Because actually, so Freaky Kids Design started as a fashion house.
Okay.
I started this when I was 15.
All right. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, that early. So you got your name Freaky that early on?
I got my name Freaky because that's what my mom and my dad and everybody else around me would freaking call me. You're so weird. You're such a freak. Why can't you be normal? And amongst all the other nasty shit that they would tell me. But yeah, so Freaky comes from, most of my story comes from very dark places, and Freaky's being one of them. A lot of people is like, oh, you're such a freak. Oh, you're, they try to take it into the sexual aspect of it. I'm like, you realize that by definition in the dictionary, that has nothing to do with anything.
No.
So no, freaky is just because I was called a freak all the time because I would never fit in anywhere. Everywhere I go, I'm always the outsider, or, you know, I fit in, but then I don't. So I have different views of things and different way of seeing things, and that's what makes me weird. And that's where freak comes from, and that's where freaky is born.
So you'll never get a job at the bank as a bank teller or something?
No,
like
I
this
don't think
behind
so.
the
I'll
desk?
probably steal their money. I try to steal their money. Like, I need some of this.
All right, so if the bank is not a good option, what are the options? Just being an artist.
Just that was the only option. There was no
only
option.
option.
That's from 7 years old. That's it. This is what I'm gonna do. And there was nothing that was gonna sway it. Anything outside of that was just gonna be a deterrent to what I'm doing. So
yeah. So well,
I like to think that I'm at least iconic enough right now.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of the achievement of what I wanted to do.
Well, that's what we talked a lot with a lot of artists, a lot of people, is how to find your own signature, how to find your own character, your own. It's with the colors, it's with the character. You are now, whenever someone sees those other stars, they know it's you.
Yes.
So
And they send me a bunch of stuff that has nothing to do with me. They'll send me artists that are doing star-related stuff. They'll send me this fucking stupid little plush that went viral that is like smacking itself in the ass because it has like a little vibrator inside of it. You didn't see that?
I missed that, yeah.
Yeah, everybody. I had like 20 people send me, look. I'm like, yeah, give me money so I can do my own version of this. You know, it's a lot of financial funding that is I'm working towards, because it's a lot of investing that I do in my brand.
Mm-hmm.
So I work very hard, and everything I make, I put back into.
You're reinvested in it, yeah.
Yes. So going back to the fashion.
The fashion, yes.
Is like I wanted to make sure that everything I wear is a representation of what I do. And I don't want just like, you know, people are like, oh, I don't buy it because it's so bright and it's all up in your face, or it's like all over.
This is Florida. There's nothing wrong wearing something bright.
Was probably from like IS4 or something.
Yeah.
I don't remember it. The guy told me, he was like, that's the only reason I don't buy it. I'm like, well, then don't buy it.
Don't buy it. That's it.
Don't buy it. That's it. But I'm not going to sell you something like that either, because that's the other thing, right? It's like, if I'm going to put my stuff on a shirt and you're only seeing the front of it, how do you know it's mine? I have to be all up in your personal space and looking at, oh, look, it's a star. And then there's people that even want like tiny little, like fucking Lacoste and shit. Like, what do I look like? You know what I mean? Like, no. If you're going to see what I do, you're going to see it front, center, back, forward, everywhere. Exactly. Just be bold.
Just be bold. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
This is me. This is who I am. This is, okay, you want it? Take it as it is, or just leave it.
Yeah. If I do get to that, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. I'll probably still do like a hidden like colorway where it's like, if I do like a black shirt, you'll see like very light black everything. Okay. And then,
well, yeah,
you know,
well, black and black, yes, and doing some black stars on the
just like outlines.
That could be interesting.
I'm working on something.
Oh, okay. I'm not gonna tell my size to the listeners, but you know my size.
No, I got you. Yeah, I'm working on.
Yeah, we gotta keep it fun. Of
course.
I'm not afraid to dress the part, especially when I come to Wynwood galleries, Win 317, like we mentioned earlier.
Yes.
We are right now. So
shout out to Win 317.
Yes. Oh yes. We're talking about female artists and female gallery owner. They're doing their part.
Yes, they are.
I'm sure both of them had a lot to prove also.
Yes.
And this is something great to have here in Wynwood.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, no, the good stuff. Like lately they had that amazing show where you were part of it, the vinyl show.
The Vinyl Vision, yes.
Vinyl Vision.
That was awesome. I definitely am pushing into a particular style there too. I call them star smashes.
Okay.
Where it's like, so that's how I started, I was doing just stars overlapping each other.
Overlapping, yeah.
And then I would go like very like abstract-y, or I'm not sure if that's the word, where you just like dry brush the outlines and it looks very messy, and I would paint spatter. And then I remember somebody told me, it's like, oh, you shouldn't do that. It's like,
all right, that's a good thing.
Well, I wasn't sure, because then look, fast forward now, that's what people want me to paint. So I'm like, all right, let's go back and let's do this. And now I'm going to bring back the dry brush. Everybody saw the dolphin I did, and I got great feedback on that. So I was like, I'm going to go back to where I should have stayed for a little bit. But it's good.
Well, that's
Try
the one
different
thing as
stuff.
an artist. I mean, it's that there's nothing like as a straight road. I mean, you go, you take some detour, and then you hear some opinions. Some people, they give you some good advice. They just give you some advice, actually.
They just give you advice. Yes, exactly.
Says
they just say things.
Yeah, they say things.
And
They
you
give
just
they
take
give
it
you
or
their
leave it.
opinion,
Mm-hmm.
and it's up to you to fly with it or say, okay, not right now. Maybe later on, but not right now. So
Exactly.
what is that quote? You shoot for the stars, even if you miss, you will
Let's aim for the moon.
aim for the moon. Aim for the moon, even if you miss, you will land among the stars. Yes,
That's right.
That's well, nice little plushy star.
I've already done a plushie.
Yes,
I've done a
I
plush.
have some,
There you
yes,
go.
I have some.
I've done plushies. I've missing shoes. I'm sure. I'm telling you, most of everything. People are like, do toys. I've done a figure. I've done actually 3 figures. I just customized one for a show in Houston.
Okay.
And then I just did another custom for turtle caps in New York for a show. So like I've done everything. I'm sure everybody will mention, oh, you should do this. I've done it or I've thought about it.
All right.
I have a mock-up somewhere.
You have a mock-up somewhere, yes?
Somewhere in my house.
Well, that's the one thing. Also, being very present with the Instagram and all those things. People do miss stuff that you may have done
Yes.
in a different part of the country for a single show, for something. So they want the same thing here at home, here in Florida. Why haven't you done it?
Mm-hmm.
I've done it.
I've done it.
Just missed it.
Exactly. Catch it on the next one.
Catch it on the next one.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. So talking about Basel, stay tuned. What's coming up? Just like an open book?
I think so. I'm not sure. Basel has been quiet. Like I said, and I mentioned it even last year, it was really quiet. I came out. There was events which were pretty, really dope, but I didn't see much of anything really activity-wise. I didn't see many murals going up. Maybe I missed it. Maybe because I just had the baby.
Yeah.
I know everybody got up on that building, and I was crying because I couldn't go.
Oh my gosh, that building in downtown, that Vista building?
Yes.
Is that the one that was something.
Yeah. So that was the most exciting thing that happened.
That's it. Yes, and we just heard about it like a week later, a week after the Miami Art Week. I was just like, wow, everybody's talking about that Vista building. And then those guys in Los Angeles went after those 2 towers.
Yes.
And then like 2-3 weeks ago, we had people tagging a mansion in Los Angeles that was absolutely insane.
Yes. But it looks better than a fucking abandoned building all ugly and stuff.
Totally. And then we just had someone lately, like 10 days ago.
Oh, the art. Yeah.
Downtown Miami.
That was awesome. Props to them. I couldn't even get on a scaffold in New York.
This
finish it
and
all.
everybody goes with their own theory, say, how did he or she get up there? Well,
I don't care, man. Props to you. Whoever it was, you got balls of steel, because I had to do a wall in New York, and I couldn't even get on the scaffold because it was like, it was wobbly. But I'll get on a lift. Mars knows. We did a lift like a few nights ago. I'll go up 20-something feet, but I'm not rappelling off a no edge of nothing. I'm not climbing
something. Yes.
Hell no.
We talked about that kind of graffiti with Ernie Vallis a couple of on the podcast before, and those guys who were doing
the rappelling
on the side of a building. It's just nuts.
They're taking classes. They're giving classes. I saw somebody in New York. They're giving classes on how to do this, and they weren't being taught by graffiti artists. They were like professional rappellers doing this. Obviously,
yes. You need technique. You need to be secure. You need so
because that fall sounds like it would be a lot of fun. Hell no.
Well, I don't know. Yes, but that's the result is pretty epic.
Yes,
pretty epic.
Yes. Basel this year, I don't know. We'll see. I'm trying to put my ear to the ground and throwing casting nets. I think I might be at in a show in a gallery on Flagler.
Okay. All right.
Make that happen. Stuff like that. Trying to keep busy.
Yeah. All right. So Freaky World, thank you so much. This is the time we have today for the podcast. Thank you so much for sharing all these incredible stories with our listeners.
Thank you.
No, this was fun. This was fun.
Yeah.
You know what? There's absolutely no pressure being on this podcast. Like I said, tell everyone, it's not just a question answer, question.
No, it's chill.
It's just to be chill.
Yes.
And I don't want that conversation to go on and on and on. Sometimes people are rambling. It's just like, wow.
Yeah.
So
too much.
let's get to the
mentioned-
juicy stuff. Let's get to the juicy stuff.
Yeah,
all right.
for sure. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much again, Freaky. Thank you to our listeners. We'll be back next week with the next podcast.
Oh, stay tuned.
Stay tuned. See you all very, very soon. Bye-bye. Thanks.